It's a powerful reminder. Greatness doesn't start in the match. It starts in the preparation that nobody sees. Watch these insane pre-match warm-ups by Elena. A complete masterclass in preparation before stepping onto the biggest stage. Every movement, every drill, every activation sequence shows how deeply her team has engineered this routine to build a champion from the ground up. Nothing is random here. The structure, the pacing, the intensity, all designed to switch her body and mind into match mode. You can see the message clearly. Preparation was the real key. Long before the first ball was struck, the foundation of victory was already being built. She takes her time in the warm-up, never rushing, fully locked into the process. There's an intense grind in the way she works, priming her legs for explosive movement, activating her core for stability, and sharpening her timing through repetition. This is where focus is forged. This is where confidence is built. By the time she walks onto the court, she isn't searching for rhythm. She's already found it. The warm-up becomes her first battle, and she treats it with championship seriousness. She visualizes patterns and executes them physically. Her brain logs the movement as familiar. So when the real exchanges begin, her body feels like it has already been there. Her coach watches closely, occasionally gesturing to adjust her positioning. A slight change in foot placement, a small correction in distance from the imagined contact point. These details matter. Proper spacing determines timing, and timing determines clean ball striking. By refining these alignments now, she reduces the risk of early match misfires. Her center of gravity remains controlled through every simulated strike. Balance is a major performance factor, especially on fast, hard courts. If balance is compromised, power leaks and accuracy drop. This shadow phase ensures her stability is fully engaged before live hitting starts. Then the session progresses. Her coach begins feeding balls to her inside the gym space. Now she is striking real shots, integrating everything she has just activated. The earlier reaction work sharpens her trigger speed. The shadow movement refines her spacing. With the ball introduced, timing and contact precision come into play. The feeds come in a controlled rhythm. She strikes cleanly, focusing on feel rather than maximum force. This stage is about syncing the senses, seeing the ball, moving into position, and sending it off the each contact reinforces confidence. Hitting in the gym before stepping onto the court serves multiple purposes. Physically, it raises her heart rate gradually. Her muscles warm progressively rather than being shocked by sudden intensity. Her joints lubricate, her shoulders loosen, and her rotational power comes online step by step. There is also a sensory advantage. The gym removes external distractions. No wind, no sun glare, no crowd noise. She can lock into pure ball feel. By the time she this phase is difficult to mobilize alone. One of the most telling details is the attention given to her toes and feet. While often overlooked, the toes are critical for balance, push-off force, and court traction. Tennis movement begins from the ground up, and the toes are the first point of interaction with the surface. As her coach carefully stretches and mobilizes her toes, the goal is to enhance foot articulation. Flexible toes allow better grip inside the shoe, improving stability during explosive directional changes. They also help distribute load across the foot more evenly, reducing stress on the ankles and calves. This is essential for maintaining agility over the course of a physically demanding match. The assisted stretching also improves proprioception, the body's awareness of its position in space. As the mobility work continues, her movements begin to look looser and more elastic. Her strides during light footwork feel longer. Her stance drops more naturally. The stiffness that often accompanies pre-match nerves fades, replaced by fluid readiness. Lower body preparation is the base layer of her entire Her movement does not need time to unlock. It is already free, already stable, and already fully prepared to perform. Shifts her focus toward upper body mobility, continuing the progression of her pre-match preparation. The intensity is controlled, but the intent is precise. Every movement is designed to ensure that her torso, shoulders, and surrounding structures are fully activated before she begins striking balls at competitive speed. This phase bridges the gap between general physical disconnection. Strokes become arm-dominant, reducing both power and efficiency. By mobilizing the torso beforehand, she ensures that her swings will feel fluid rather than forced. The left-to-right motion also mirrors rally demands. During points, she constantly transitions between forehand and backhand rotations. Preparing both directions evenly helps eliminate stiffness on one side. Balanced mobility prevents asymmetry, which can otherwise disrupt timing or lead to compensatory strain in the shoulders and lower back. As she continues rotating, the muscles surrounding her spine gradually release tension. The thoracic region, crucial for rotation, becomes more mobile. Increased thoracic mobility allows her to coil deeper during shot preparation and uncoil more explosively at contact. This stored elastic energy contributes to racket speed without requiring excessive muscular effort. Breathing remains steady throughout the movement. Each rotation is paired with controlled exhalation, helping her relax into the range rather than forcing it. Relaxed mobility produces smoother athletic motion. When the torso moves freely, her posture during rallies remains upright and stable, supporting clean ball striking under pressure. After establishing rotational rhythm, she transitions into shoulder preparation using the same stick. She grips it with both hands and begins guiding her arms through control. As she draws the band back, her shoulder blades begin to retract toward her spine. This scapular engagement is one of the most important elements of upper body preparation in tennis. During rallies, the shoulders repeatedly accelerate the racket forward, but they also must decelerate and stabilize it after contact. If the scapular muscles are not awake, the shoulder joint can feel loose or uncoordinated. By pulling the band under control, she activates the mid-back structures that anchor the shoulder complex. Her posture remains tall as she performs each pull. The chest stays lifted, the neck relaxed, and the core lightly braced. This alignment ensures that the movement originates from the intended musculature and becomes more repeatable and efficient. The resistance from the band, controlled by her coach, introduces reactive tension. Because he regulates the pull, the resistance is not static. It responds subtly to her force output. This variability mirrors match conditions, where stability must be maintained against unpredictable forces from incoming shots. Training under externally controlled tension prepares her to maintain racket stability even when stretched wide or rushed on contact. As she continues pulling, the muscles between her shoulder blades generate heat and activation. These muscles are responsible for maintaining shoulder positioning during powerful swings. When they are engaged beforehand, the shoulder joint sits more securely in its socket. This enhances both power transfer and injury protection. Her elbows travel slightly behind her torso at the end of each pull, reinforcing posterior shoulder activation. This motion counterbalances the forward-dominant nature of tennis strokes. Because players swing forward repeatedly, the anterior shoulder can become overactive while the posterior chain lags. This band work restores equilibrium, ensuring that both sides of the joint are prepared. Breathing again plays a role. She exhales as she pulls and inhales as she returns the band forward. This breathing pattern helps regulate muscular tension. It prevents gripping or overexertion, allowing the activation to remain fluid rather than rigid. Fluid activation is key for tennis, where looseness and explosiveness must coexist. Her coach subtly adjusts the tension throughout the sequence. At times he increases resistance, forcing her to recruit more stabilizers. At other moments he reduces tension, allowing her to focus on speed of contraction. This dynamic control makes the preparation more sport-specific. Tennis demands both stability and quickness, and this variation addresses both qualities simultaneously. The standing position adds another layer of relevance. Because she is upright, her lower body must stabilize her base while her upper body pulls. This integrates the kinetic chain rather than isolating the arms. Her legs anchor her stance, her core transfers tension, and her upper back completes the movement. This full-chain coordination mirrors how she stabilizes herself during rallies. Her coach holds a tennis ball at shoulder height, keeping her guessing about when it will drop. The unpredictability is intentional. Without warning, he releases the ball, letting gravity pull it toward the floor. The instant it leaves his hand, Elena reacts. She explodes forward, driving off her front foot, sprinting a short distance to catch the ball before it bounces twice, sometimes even before the first bounce if the drop is close enough. This drill looks simple on the surface, but its purpose runs deep. Tennis is dictated by reaction speed. Players rarely move on anticipation alone, they move on recognition. The fraction of a second between seeing the ball leave the opponent's racket and initiating movement often determines whether the shot is reached cleanly or late. By reacting to the dropped ball, Elena is sharpening that first step, the most critical step in tennis movement. Her starting position deliberately remains precise as she closes in on the ball. Even at speed, she lowers her body to reach it cleanly. This teaches her to decelerate under control rather than crash into the pickup. Controlled deceleration is just as important as acceleration. Without it, balance is lost and recovery becomes slow. Catching the ball also introduces hand-eye coordination into the movement. She must track the ball's descent while running at pace. This reinforces visual tracking under physical stress. In match play, this translates to maintaining clean contact even when stretched or rushed. Her coach varies the timing of the drop. Sometimes he releases it quickly after resetting, other times he delays, forcing her to hold her ready stance longer. This variation trains patience and sustained alertness. In tennis, players must stay mentally engaged between points and during rallies that include slower exchanges before sudden pace changes. He also adjusts the drop distance subtly. Some drops fall closer to her body, demanding quick reflexes but minimal running. Others fall farther away, requiring a more explosive first step and longer acceleration phase. This variability ensures that her reaction system adapts to different spatial demands. As repetition in this sequence, she lies on her back on the gym floor, holding a resistance band firmly in her hands while her coach applies tension by pulling the band. The exercise is subtle in appearance but complex in execution, combining upper body strength, core activation, and lower body control. Her leg lifts are coordinated with the resistance, creating a full-body connection that mirrors the demands of high-level tennis movement. As she grips the band, her shoulders are anchored to the floor, and her arms engaged to maintain tension. This upper body hold is more than just a strength challenge. It stabilizes her torso, keeping her rib cage aligned and her spine neutral. In tennis, the torso acts as the central link between the lower and upper body, transferring energy from the legs into the swing. By anchoring the shoulders in this controlled position, Elena is rehearsing that force transfer under tension. When her coach pulls the band, Elena must resist the movement, engaging her arms, chest, and upper back. This controlled resistance primes her shoulder stabilizers for the demands of repeated racket acceleration and deceleration during the match. It also activates the muscles around the scapula, which are essential for maintaining precise arm positioning. If the shoulder stabilizers are underprepared, swings can become erratic and injury risk increases. This exercise ensures that those muscles are firing before she even begins hitting balls. Her leg lift adds a critical dimension to the drill. As she raises her leg, her core engages fully to maintain balance and prevent compensatory arching of the lower back. The rectus abdominis, obliques, and deep stabilizers all work together to keep her pelvis steady. This is crucial for tennis, where every stroke begins from a coordinated base. When she rotates, lunges, or stretches to reach balls, her core must stabilize the spine while transferring force to the racket. This drill preloads those systems, teaching her body to remain connected under tension. The leg lift also challenges her hip flexors and lower abdominal muscles. These muscles are central to explosive movement on the court. They help initiate sprints toward wide shots and control recovery steps after strokes. By integrating them into a resistance-based upper body drill, Elena is creating a functional, tennis-specific activation pattern rather than isolating muscle groups in a traditional way. Her breathing is measured throughout. As her coach increases the pull of the band, she exhales while maintaining the lift, keeping tension controlled and muscles engaged without overgripping. Controlled breathing enhances core activation, reduces unnecessary muscular tension, and allows her to sustain the contraction efficiently over several repetitions. Hamstrings and calves in a coordinated chain. The ankle stabilizers also engage to manage the dynamic load, ensuring that push-offs and landings are secure. Tennis requires repeated bursts from low, crouched positions. Training under cable resistance simulates the demands of these short, direct throughout the drill. At times, her coach increases tension, forcing her stabilizers to work harder and improving strength endurance of the hips, glutes, and core. At other times, the tension decreases slightly, allowing her to focus on speed, precision, and agility. This dynamic adjustment ensures that the training remains functional and sport-specific, rather than simply creating generalized muscular fatigue. She begins with a steady cadence, pedaling at a moderate intensity that elevates her heart rate without inducing fatigue. The initial phase serves multiple physiological purposes. First, it gradually raises body temperature, which enhances muscle elasticity. Warm muscles are less prone to strain and more efficient at producing force. This is particularly important for tennis, a sport that requires repeated explosive movements across a large range of motion. When the quadriceps, hamstrings, calves, and glutes are warm, energy transfer during sprints, lateral shuffles, and lunges is smoother and more powerful. The stationary bike also stimulates blood circulation to the extremities. In tennis, the lower body is the engine of movement. Adequate blood flow ensures that oxygen reaches the large muscles in the legs and hips, fueling them for explosive first. The repetitive pedaling pattern is ideal for warming the hamstrings and quadriceps without overstressing the joints. Controlled muscle engagement enhances proprioception, allowing her body to feel spatial positioning and coordination as it will during points. She alternates between focus. The steady, rhythmic motion of cycling provides a controlled environment to tune into her breathing, body awareness, and heart rate. Pre-match anxiety or adrenaline spikes can be mitigated by focusing on consistent, deliberate pedaling. This combination of physical and mental preparation ensures she enters subsequent warm-up phases with a calm yet alert state. Another benefit is metabolic priming. The gradual increase in cardiovascular demand prepares her body to utilize energy substrates efficiently. Glycogen stores are mobilized, and muscle fibers are awakened to contract rapidly. By the time she transitions to on-court dynamic drills, her energy systems are ready to handle repeated explosive efforts with minimal wasted motion or delayed reaction times. The stationary bike also allows her to gauge readiness. Her coach can observe heart rate, cadence, and body mechanics to ensure that she is warming appropriately. Any early signs of stiffness or asymmetry can be addressed immediately through targeted mobility or activation exercises. This real-time feedback optimizes the efficiency of her warm-up and reduces the likelihood of compensatory movement patterns. As she continues, Elena may include slight variations in pedal motion. Small changes in foot angle, cadence, or resistance distribution further engage stabilizers and fine-tune neuromuscular coordination. Tennis requires precision in movement, not just raw power. These micro-adjustments on the bike enhance subtle control over foot and leg positioning that will carry over to lateral slides, approach steps, and recovery movements. Breathing remains controlled, with a focus on diaphragmatic expansion. Proper breathing enhances oxygen delivery, stabilizes the torso, and maintains relaxation under tension. The rhythmic inhalation and exhalation establish a neural pattern that supports both endurance and explosive activity, reducing early onset of fatigue during match play. Evenly through the foot, reducing stress on the joints. The dynamic lunges also enhance ankle flexibility and activate stabilizing muscles around the hips, which are critical for lateral agility and rotational power during strokes. Her breathing is coordinated with movement, exhaling as she pushes back to standing and inhaling as she steps forward or lowers into the lunge. This controlled respiration supports muscle engagement, balance, and energy efficiency, ensuring that she can maintain explosive movement throughout the warm-up.